Hello everyone, this is Fine from Gaming Villa. I hope you all are well. Today I'm going to talk about the two TV, the left side X85L and right side Samsung Q80C. First, I want to talk about the X85L. If you're new in my channel, then please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications and upcoming videos. I have another channel named Awesome Tech Gaming Pro, where I upload similar kind of tech videos like TV comparison, sound system, home theater, graphics cards. You can check and subscribe. The SONY X85L offers beautifully refined picture quality, making it an excellent choice for serious movie fans who appreciate subtle details despite not being the showiest or cheapest mid-range LCD TV on the market. The X85L provides fair value of its impressive features and performance. The TV's motion processing is excellent, delivering smooth and clear visuals for an immersive viewing experience. However, it lacks support for HD10+ and has a few limitations for gaming. While Sony has long excelled with its high-end LCD and OLED TVs, it's struggled to really make a major splash with its mid-range LCD offering. Its X80 series have been consistently inconsistent due to its tendency to mix and match IPS and VA types of LCD panel. And while its step-up X85 series has typically been solid, it hasn't quite had enough going on to stand out from the ultra-competitive mid-range crowd. Perhaps fired into action by the rise of upstart brands such as Hyzin and TCL, though 2023's X85L as represented here, the X85L sees Sony seriously upping its mid-range game at last. This X85L has two HDMI which can play 4K 120Hz graphics from the latest consoles and PCs, as well as supporting variable refresh rate. There's also support for Sony's Perfect for PlayStation 5 system, where the console can identify precisely which Sony TVs is attached to and adjust its high dynamic range output accordingly to get the best results. There's also support for automatic game mode switching, where the TV switches over to its fast response game mode when a game source is detected, and input lag is kept to a very respectable 15.7 millisecond in the screen's fastest response mode. You can choose to add 1 millisecond more in return for an anti-motion blur feature if you wish, but this is also causes the picture to dim more than I felt comfortable with. On the other hand, the Samsung Q80C is much better input lag than Sony and much better gaming performance than Sony, I will say, on Q80C. The gaming limitations concern the way the TV can't support all the latest gaming features at the same time. So you have to choose between an enhanced HDMI format setting that permits 4K 120Hz but not Dolby Vision HDR, an enhanced format Dolby Vision setting that supports Dolby Vision HDR but not 4K 120Hz, and an enhanced format VRR setting that supports variable refresh rate but stops you from using many of the TV's picture adjustment and enhancement features. The X85L also doesn't provide a fast response gaming setting with Dolby Vision game sources. With all that gaming confusion squared away, let's get into something more fundamental. The X85L's core panel specifications, which are that it's a VA high contrast rather than IPS, which has wide viewing angles panel then but less contrast, lit by a regular LED lighting system positioned directly behind the screen that supports 24 zones of local dimming. While this level of specification perhaps doesn't hold up well against the mini LED lighting and hundreds of dimming zones found on similarly priced Hyzin U7K and TCL 65-inch C845K. The X85L is actually the first model at an equivalent level of previous Sony TV ranges that supports local dimming, and as well we'll see, even though the TV is only powered by one of Sony's now slightly aging X1 processors rather than the latest cognitive processor X-Brain found in the brand's more premium TVs. It proves in no uncertain terms that how you control a screen's dimming zones can be as important as how many of those zones you have. Sony's usually reliable 3-luminous color and reality creation systems are on hand to hopefully provide plenty of color subtlety and fine detail to the 4K screen's pictures. While HDR support extends to HD10, HLG, and the previously mentioned Dolby Vision systems, Sony continues not to support the HD10+ system though. As ever with Sony TVs, the X85L depends mostly on Google TV for its smart features. This is fair enough given the vast amounts of content sources the system supports and its improved menu design compared with its Android TV predecessor. Though it's still a little overcomplicated in its approach, it still doesn't support the catch-up apps for all the UK's main terrestrial broadcaster. Despite costing around the same, Sony's set is nowhere near as bright as that 10-inch bigger TCL mini LED groundbreaker or Samsung Q80C. I will say Q80C a bit height in this section than X85L. The more time you spend with X85L though, the more you start to appreciate it and the more aware you become of the very different approaches TVs can take to satisfy the tastes of quite different target audiences. The key to understanding the X85L's appeal is to recognize that it's more interested in balance, refinement and artistic intent than it is in turning things up to 11. So for instance, while it might not be blazingly bright, it peaks at around 760 nits outside of its bonkers vivid mode. The way it uses that light is nothing short of beautiful. This is especially true with its handling of dark scenes and black colors. So effective is Sony's set at delivering convincing black tones free of low contrast grayness. In fact, that at times it's hard to believe it's not an OLED TV. It's not just that black levels are so believably rich and deep, though they also contain excellent amounts of subtle detail and shading rather than looking hollow and empty as they might do with a cruder backlighting system. In the X85L's standard preset, which is for the most part the most all-around immersive option, I was also amazed by how little backlight blooming the set displays around standout bright objects. This distracting issue has traditionally been a problem for Sony LCD TVs that use local dimming, but this year the brand seems to have gotten on top of it, even remarkably with a TV in this case that only appears to support 24 local dimming zones. It's also worth saying that the X85L might not be ferociously bright. Its brightness holds up very nicely compared with the OLED TVs when showing HD content that fills the whole screen with brightness. Its screen soaks up reflections unusually well for mid-range set too. And even better, you really come to appreciate how Sony is using the actually perfectly respectable amount of brightness at its disposal to create a really wide range of light with HDR images. Unlike some of its rivals, it doesn't bias its tone mapping towards the bright end of the spectrum for a more aggressive but ultimately less natural and balanced image, and that's to its credit, as well as giving you a picture that feels impressively aligned with the artistic intent of film and TV makers. This balanced approach to HDR, where appreciation for darkness is valued as much as brightness, sees the picture infused with a gorgeously subtle array of color tones and details, creating a fantastically immersive feeling. And the word feeling quite deliberately used, as the all-around appreciation for the finer details of the video masters are genuinely contributes to the emotions well-crafted production is out to convey. No part of the picture, be it a particular color tone, an overstressed peak light element, or a forced area of darkness, ever dominates the rest. Despite colors always looking vibrant and rich, a result of Sony's long TV experience, impressive processing, and I suspect involvement in the mastering monitor market helped it achieve an excellent understanding of how every aspect of picture relates to each other. Or at least that's the case with most of X85L's picture presets. There is a strange exception in the shape of vivid mode that pushes colors to extremes, causing noise levels and general lack of balance that feel like they belong to a completely different TV. Fortunately, there's a simple solution to this problem: stay as far away from the vivid preset as possible. Inevitably, given its position in Sony's range, there are a few small ways in which the X85L falls short of Sony's step-up models. The cinema preset, for starters, that you might expect would deliver the most all-around immersive and accurate picture can actually suffer with a little loss of detail and dark areas and a bit more backlight blooming than default standard preset. The extremely dark edge scenes that feature very small brightness shifts in low light areas can cause the backlight to slightly exaggerate its reactions, while at the other end of the light spectrum, very bright image pics can sometimes look a touch starved of the subtle detailing, shading and color toning that are so present elsewhere in the X85L's pictures. X85L doesn't always deliver black levels as deep as those you can get from TCL 845K or Samsung Q80C either, but as I keep pointing out, this is arguably more a factor of Sony aiming for balance over aggression than an actual weakness of the Japanese brand set, though it is also the case that every now and then a particularly complex dark shot containing extreme amounts of shadow detail and a few bright highlights scattered around the screen can look slightly misty and soft, presumably as its light engine struggles to keep its typically excellent balance going in such tough circumstances. For the vast majority of time though, provided you avoid its vivid preset, the X85L's picture are pure class. The same can be said to some extent of its sound here too. Sony seems to have focused on delivering a combination of balance, subtlety and detail with an eye on ensuring that no part of a soundtrack stands out too much or overwhelms anything else. Effects are nicely placed and cleanly delivered without harshness or brightness, despite the set only having a 210-watt speaker setup to work with, though I didn't say it gets much value really out of its built-in Dolby Atmos decoding. The bass reflex design of its two X-balanced speakers helps it handle bass unexpectedly cleanly for a 20-watt setup with no dedicated subwoofer, leaving as the only complaint slight lack of raw volume, forward projection and movie-friendly dynamic range compared to some of the more aggressive sounding rivals I have heard on X85L. On the other hand, if you see the Samsung Q80C truly delivers on producing the most accurate picture color possible. You can see everything what's come to life with greater detail and realism. Think of nature in even more wonderful shades. The sky is brighter, the grass is greener. It has quantum dot technology. That's why the details are clearer on the Samsung TV. Samsung's quantum dot power TVs transform light into lifelike and accurate color, validated by Pantone. A naturally bright and colorful picture in over 1 billion cinematic colors on Samsung Q80C. Think of the processor. The Sony has cognitive processor, but the Samsung and the processor as the brain of the TV, and this is Samsung's most intelligent 4K processor yet, using AI and 20 neural networks. It optimizes the sound and picture to unleash the full power of 4K. Learning scene by scene, it automatically optimizes the brightness, amplifies the contrast, enhances objects, clarifies voices over background noise, and upscales the resolution to incredible 4K picture quality regardless of how it was filmed. The contrast look a bit more on Q80C. It has direct full array. Imagine you are watching the moon in the night sky. Now the sky is darker, the moon is brighter, and the contrast between them is sharper. Direct full array technology places LEDs directly behind the screen and accurately controls them to create incredible contrast for a more natural viewing experience. The Samsung Q80C has Dolby Atmos. This technology delivers a sound experience that you can feel around you. It creates an immersive and realistic impression of sound when an aeroplane flies overhead in your favorite blockbuster. Your TV speakers simulate the overhead sound, so it feels like it is above you. Add a soundbar to create sound as if you were in the cinema. This Samsung Q80C has Quantum HDR Plus technology. You want your TV's picture quality to look as close to the real world as possible, and the wider the HDR range, the more lifelike the image. This TV precise LED backlight technology drives high brightness levels, bringing rich colors and contrast to every scene. It's like picture detail with technology that creates dark blacks and bright whites. Whatever you are watching is nice to see on Samsung Q80C. Q80C has object tracking sound, chooses which of the TV's front speakers the sound comes through depending on where the action is happening on screen. So you can hear a car fly along your screen or the crowd cheering all around you. Q80C also has motion accelerator turbo plus technology. It performs at your peak from those high-octane car races to that thrilling dungeon chase, bring the best out of next-gen graphics on Samsung Neo QLED 4K TV. It has HDMI 2.1, work in perfect synergy with next-gen consoles to deliver ultra high 120Hz TV refresh rates and ultra low input lag. The input lag is much better than SONY X85L. It cuts out the blur between fast-paced images, so you will experience ultra smooth, lightning, quick immersive 4K gaming. This Samsung TV has gaming hub which brings together the biggest console and streaming games from Xbox and other industry-leading partners all in on one place with no downloads, storage limits or console required. Just turn on your TV and play. It has a smart TV powered by Tizen with the best-selling Samsung Smart TV. It's never been easier to enjoy TV. Dive into huge collection of 4K films, TV shows, and all your catch-up TV apps, including Netflix, Disney+, Apple TV, Now TV, and BT Sport apps, all in one place. Not sure what to watch? Samsung's easy-to-use and customizable Smart Hub platform gives you tailored recommendations. Samsung TV has been ranked #1 selling TV brand or 16 consecutive years by Omdia. Subscription required. Some apps may not be available at launch. Third-party content providers may remove apps from the Smart TV platform or stop updating them at any time. You should note that the Smart TV features third-party apps. These apps may be modified or withdrawn at any time. There may also be delay in launching some of the featured apps. Catch-up TV apps may vary by region. The function and availability of apps is not covered by the manufacturer's richer sounds guarantee. If you compare this Q80C with the SONY X85L, both have some strong side and weakness. Actually, it depends on some people. Some people like SONY X85L picture quality and some are like Samsung Q80C. So which TV you prefer most, the X85L or Samsung Q80C? Which TV's picture quality you prefer? Please write in the comments below. That's it from now.